Hello everyone and welcome to my very first full champion guide. If there is a single champion I know well, and it pretty much can be the only champion I know well, it would be Zed. I started playing him since his release, because I'll always love these monk/ninja style champions, and I really loved his kit as well. Some people might say that Zed is the best if he's played as top laner, but I can assure you that his mid lane is way stronger. Zed is based on one-shotting squishy targets, and later on they don't even have to be squishy. So let's go through the pros and cons. On the plus side, he has enormous burst, okay sustained damage, which is great because champions with burst damage usually don't have that, lots of movement and juke potential, he's a ninja, he has awesome farming skills, and he looks badass. On the other side, he can be squishy in late game, which thankfully can be outplayed if I can put it like that. He doesn't have a top hat skin. And he's hard to play, especially when you start playing him, you will have no idea what you're doing. So let's have a look at runes and masteries, especially runes have a big impact on him. I started with attack damage quints, attack damage marks, armor seals and magic resistance glyphs. Well, I learned that Zed doesn't need defensive stats at all. I tried all the different builds and I finally figured out the best one. It's armor penetration quints, armor penetration marks, and then you have to pick seals and glyphs that match your skills. The more offensive you can go, the stronger you are, the more you have to outplay the enemy. Ideally, you could go attack damage both seals and glyphs. I know that attack damage glyphs give you almost nothing, but that is exactly what Zed needs. He doesn't need much to snowball, but he snowballs massively. For masteries, you want to run classic 2190 AD tree, getting the early cooldown reduction instead of attack speed, and some bonus damage against monsters instead of bonus critical strikes. Skill order might be a little bit different from what you saw before. You always want to start with Q, W and E first. I've seen people maxing Q first, but you can also go for E. It's pretty much the same as Katarina's Q or W. The thing is that maxing Q as Zed is only worth it if you actually manage to hit all 3 Qs every time you ult your target, and it's not the easiest since you have to aim for one spot. The shurikens do more damage and the damage stacks together. Each shuriken deals half the damage the previous one did. But they are highly expensive and they will get you out of energy really quickly. The important part is the cooldown. On shuriken it's 6 seconds. Shadow Slash has only 3 seconds cooldown and the cost is only 50 energy. Their damage does not stack together if you hit multiple ones, but their slow does, and hitting more than one slash on one enemy restores your energy. So you will rarely get out of energy. The cooldown on these spells is important because their damage is multiplied by 50% on the target you ulted if you're level 16. So let's say you have 50 bonus attack damage and you're level 6. With 3 points in shuriken it deals 155 plus 50 damage, which is total of 205 damage with the first one, 102.5 with the second one, and 51.25 with the third one. With the bonus 30% damage from ultimate, that's total of 266.5 damage for one shuriken hit, 399.75 for 2, and 466.375 for 3 shurikens. With 3 points in Shadow Slash, that's 120 plus 40, which is 160 damage, plus 30% from your ultimate. That's total of only 208 damage. But by getting only 1% cooldown reduction, it makes you able to fit 2 slashes in your ultimate. That makes it total of 416 damage. So even though shurikens do more damage if you hit all 3 of them, Shadow Slash gives you bonus slow for guiding or chasing and it's much better for instant wave clear. Unless you're a pro player or Chuck Norris, I wouldn't pick shurikens. So if you're watching Chuck, I don't mind you getting shurikens first.
Okay.
Next one is itemization. Every time I try to change the itemization, it gets harder and harder to snowball. So I put together the ultimate snowball build. You always, and I mean always, need to start with longsword and potions. His level 3 is one of the strongest in game. Longsword gives you exactly what you need to get an early kill and start snowballing. First item should always be Brutalizer, followed by Vampiric Scepter. The next two items are Boots and Last Whisper. You will learn that Zed doesn't need Boots at all, and you can go for Last Whisper first. But if you don't have the gold you need, you can go for Boots before Last Whisper. The next item is Bloodthirster, followed by Black Cleaver Upgrade and Guardian Angel. The last item is Blade of the Rune King. Because all this damage is multiplied by your ultimate, it's worth more as a late game item when you have enough AD that it does the same damage as one of your abilities. The defensive item will always be Guardian Angel for Zed. Warmogs can't save you from the burst if you're focused. The build stays the same, only the order changes depending on your gameplay. So let's have a look at a few clips now. In this clip, you'll see how important knowing the position of your shadow is. I didn't want to dive in yet because I knew that Amumu still had ult. After he finally ulted, I summoned my shadow on top of Ezreal and quickly backed away. I kept an eye on my shadow and used it to focus Ezreal anyway. As Zed, you want to focus down the strongest enemy, meaning that you should usually go for their AP and AD carry. Even though in this clip I couldn't cast my last E in time, it still was enough for my team to ace them. In this last clip you can see perfectly executed combo. I summoned my shadow and then immediately ulted on MF. This allowed me to hit all of my shurikens without any problems, because I had both shadows near her. With a little help of Blitz, I almost got both of those kills. That's it for my very first full guide. I hope you enjoyed it. All those likes, favorites and comments are highly appreciated, and thank you, come again.